Hi, it's me Tutor Vinod. In this video I'm going to tell you about simple and compound interest. Let us first start with simple interest. Even going to simple interest, let us be familiar with few terms. Principal is the amount of money you borrowed or taken out. Rate, which is usually in percent, which is the percent of interest for the amount. P, which we should pay every year. T is the duration of time, always must be in years. If it is not in year, if it is in month, we should divide it by 12 in order to get a year. And if it is given in weeks, we should divide the number by 52 in order to get in year. So if it is in days, we should divide it by 365 because there are 365 days in a year. This is how we convert time frame into the year if it is given in months, weeks or days. Now the simple interest can be found by this formula, which is PTR over 100, or you can also write PTR percent, because this 100 is put here in order to remove the percent sign. This is both equivalent to each other. Now let us do the problem regarding simple interest. The question tells us that Cherry deposited $2,000 into a saving account in Bank of America that offers 5% interest. How much interest will she earn at the end of 3 years? In this question, the principal amount P is given to us as 2,000 and the rate is given to us, which is 5%, and the amount of year is given to us, which is 3 years. We are supposed to find the simple interest. Our simple interest will be PTR over 100. So P is $2,000 times our T is 3 and our rate is 5 over 100. So it will be $300. So in this way we can find the simple interest of Cherry after 3 years when she deposit this much amount in a Bank of America for 3 years. Now let us see another problems regarding simple interest. In this example, Norbu purchases his first car borrowing $10,000 from Bank of America for 5 years in 5% of interest per annum. How much interest will he pay in 5 years? So our principal amount P is given to us, which is $10,000. The time is given to us, which is 5 years, and the rate is given to us, which is 5%. Now we are supposed to find the interest, simple interest after 5 years. So which is given by PTR over 100. So the P is $10,000 times our time is 5 years times rate is 5% over 100. Since we divide by 100, we're gonna get rid of this percentage. Now if we multiply 10,000 times 5 over 100, we will get 100 times 5 is 500 times 5 is 2500. So our interest will be 2500. So Norbu has to pay 2500 as simple interest to the Bank of America in 5 years. Now let us talk about compound interest. This is a special kind of interest. When the interest of the principal for 1 year is added to the original principal and then the interest for the next year is being calculated from its new principal, this kind of special kind of interest is compound interest. So in this kind of interest, the principal is revised every year and then the interest will be then decided. So let us derive an formula let us derive the formula for compound amount and compound interest. Suppose we have principal $P, rate R%, and time T years. Our interest for first year will be PTR%, or T is for 1 year, so it's P times 1 times R%, which is PR%. Since we have an interest, if we're gonna add principal to that interest, we're gonna get compound amount for the first year, which is P plus PR%. On taking P common, we will have P 1 plus R%. This is our new principal, or this is our principal amount for the second year. So let us see what will be our interest for second year, which is again PTR%. So our new P is P 1 plus R% times, again the time for this time frame is 1, because the gap between the second year and the first year is also 1 year. So it's principal times time times R%, which is P 1 plus R% times R%. The compound amount for the second year is again the principal plus interest, but in this case the principal amount, this one, P 1 plus R%. On taking 1 plus R% and P common, we will get this much for our second year. For second year we will have P 1 plus R% to the power 2. Similarly for third year we will have P 1 plus R% to the power 3. By elaboration and by simple sequence of mathematics, we can then find for fourth year, which will be P 1 plus R% to the power 4. But if you want to continue till T years, we will have our compound amount as P 1 plus R% to the power T. So this is how we get the compound amount. But also we know that our compound amount equal to the principal plus interest, and our compound interest will be, this is our compound interest. So our compound interest in this case will be A minus P. Our A is P 1 plus R% to the power T minus, this is P over here. So from here, if we get P common, we'll get this formula for our compound interest. So compound interest will be P 1 plus R% to the power T minus 1, or if you want to get rid of the percent sign, we're gonna have P 1 plus R over 100 whole power T minus 1. So this is the formula we generated by using the concept of compound interest. So these two formula will be handy in order to solve problems related compound interest. So now let us see the problem. This problem relates simple interest to the compound interest. Find the difference between the simple interest and compound interest of this amount at the rate of 5% per annum for 3 years. So what is given to us? The principal amount P is given to us, which is $32,000. The rate R is given to us as 5%, whereas the time frame T is given to us as 3 years. Now we are supposed to find simple interest. Simple interest is nothing but it's PTR over 100. The P is $32,000 times our time is 3 and rate is 5, and we have to divide by 100 in order to get rid of the percent sign. So if we solve this, we're gonna have 320 times 3 times 5, which is equal to $4,800. Similarly, if you want to find the compound interest, we have to use P 1 plus R by 100 to the power T minus 1. So our P is same, which is $32,000 times 1 plus R is 5 over 100 times T power T, which is 3 minus 1. So this term will be 1 over 20 because 5 times 20 is 100. So 1 over 20 plus 1, after taking LCM we will get 20. So 20 plus 1 is 21 over 20. So 21 over 20 power 3. So 21 over 20 power 3 gives us 1.15. we have to subtract 1 from that to get 0.157. on multiplying this with 32,000 we get 5,044. so our compound interest is 5,044. so what is the difference between the compound interest and simple interest, which will be $5,044 minus $4,800, which is $244. This is how we do this problem. Now let us see a little bit more complicated but interesting problem regarding compound interest. Let me read the question for you. The compound interest in 2 years at the rate of 10% per annum will be $420 more than that of the simple interest. Find the sum or the principal. So this we have to find. We are given the rate is given to us as 10%, whereas time is given to us as 2 years. From the question, the condition is given to us as compound interest is $420 more than that of simple interest. This is our condition given to us. First, let us find our compound interest. Compound interest is P 1 plus R over 100 to the power T minus 1. Or, but from equation 1, the value of compound interest in the time frame is 420 plus SI. Let me replace this CI with this amount, which is $420 plus SI equals to, our P is P, but 1 plus R is 10 over 100 power 2 years minus 1, or 420 plus, we can also get the SI because SI is simple interest is PTR over 100. Our P is P, time is 2, and R is 10%, which will be, this is gone, 2 over 10 is 5, so P over 5. That will be our simple interest in terms of P. So if I gonna replace this simple interest by P over 5, our right hand side will be P. This will be 1 over 10. 1 over 10 plus 1 will be 11 over 10. 11 over 10 to the power 2 is 121 over 100 minus 1 is 21 over 100. So it's 21 over 100. So this will be our right side. If you're gonna subtract 21 P over 100 on both sides, we'll get $420 plus equals to 21 P over 100 minus P over 5, or 420 equals to, so we'll have 100 as LCM in the right hand side, so 21P minus 20P, 21P minus 20P, because 5 times 20 is 100. so we will have P over 100 on the right hand side. Therefore P over 100 equals to 420. If we're gonna multiply both sides by 100, we're gonna have the value for P as $42000 or 42,000. So the principal or the sum is $42,000. Now let us see one more problem regarding compound interest. The compound amount in 3 years is $133.10 and in 4 years is 14,641. Find the compound rate R of the interest and the P. So we are supposed to find R and we are supposed to find P. The compound amount is given to us for 3 years and 4 years. Let us use two conditions here. So condition 1 is for 3 years and our condition 2 is for 4 years. For 3 years the compound amount is given to us as $13310. Also the compound amount is P 1 plus R by 100 to the power T. That will be the amount, compound amount, $133.10. For 4 years we're gonna have compound amount. For 4 years our compound amount will be $14,641, but earlier we derived the formula for compound amount as P 1 plus R over 100 to the power T equals to $14,641. Let us replace the value of time over here. So we'll get P 1 plus R over 100. Our T is 4 years in this case, equals to $14,641. This is our equation 2. From the first condition, if we're gonna replace the value of T, what we should get is P 1 plus R over 100 to the power T is 3 equals to $3310. Let us say this as equation 1 because this is our first case for 3 years and this is our second case which is for 4 years. On dividing equation 2 by equation 1, we would get P 1 plus R over 100 to the power 4. This is our equation 2 left hand term, over we have P 1 plus R to the divide by 100 power 3 equals to, our right hand side will be $14,641 over $133.10. So if we're gonna divide the right side, we get 11 over 10 or 11 over 10 or 1.1. Now I want to move here, so this P and this P is gone. Now we will have 1 plus R over 100 to the power 4 minus 3, because this thing inside the bracket is same on both occasion, which is a base. If we use the property of indices, we will have base to the power 4 minus 3 equals to 1.1, or 1 plus r over 100. This is 1, so value of power 1 is the same expression, equals to 1.1, or 100 plus r over 100 equals to 1.1. Therefore 100 plus r equals to 110. Therefore our r is 110 minus 100, which is 10% per annum. Now we are supposed to find P by using any of the two equations. We can solve for P. Let us use the first equation. We have P 1 plus r over 100 to power 3 equals to 13310. So the value of r is 10 now. Instead of r, I can write 10. So this is gone. So 1 over 10 plus 1 will be 11 over 10. 11 over 10 to the power 3 is 1.331. So we will have 1.331 P times P equals to 13310. On dividing both sides by 13310, we will get the value of P as $10,000. So eventually we get the value of R as 10% and the value of P as 10,000. This is a relatively harder problem, but once you know the concept of compound amount, compound interest and simple interest, you can easily find and derive an equation with unknown and then solve for unknown in order to get the answer. I hope this video will work for you to understand the concept regarding simple interest and compound interest. Thank you very much for listening and looking at my videos. Stay safe and healthy.